You want to go ahead and say something there?
Hello, hello, check, check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Sounds good.
We're striving to make this the top listening room in the region. Please
Need everybody to turn off your cell phones and pagers, and please keep talking to a minimum.
We're here with Tyler Gilmore. Tyler represents the future of jazz.
Right there. Look.
I don't get what you're saying.
Just look toward my head, top of my head.
Right there is a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that?
Maybe just down a little bit from there. Like maybe right in this area.
Below the Panasonic sign?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, it's natural.
Okay, Tyler, we're here with Tyler Gilmore. Tyler represents the future of jazz. He's one of the young talents in the Rocky Mountain region who composes. He is a band leader. He is also the musical director for Dazzle, who was voted one of the top 100 jazz clubs in the world. Thank you for participating, Tyler Gilmore. In what ways is the Denver community unique in regards to our jazz culture?
In my experience, I've seen a number of things. One is the population around here is very well suited, I guess, the demographic for that sort of thing. We have a large number of educated people. We have a large number of people that I guess have some leisure time and some leisure money. And so that's a great combination, because the way I like to look at jazz is it's not necessarily a music suited towards one certain demographic, one certain kind of people or anything. All that jazz is for me, and I think for a lot of people, is a musical art form where any sort of musical influence can come in, but it's always treated with a lot of intellectual thought, and then a lot of passion. And so you bring in that passion and that intellectual thought into one form of music, and it's like great art. It's just instantly takes these influences up a notch and makes something more interesting. And of course, jazz is improvisatory, so every night it's something new. So I think for the Denver community, there's a lot of people that have the time and have the interest to have something like that they can really dig their teeth into as a musical hobby or whatnot. So I think it fits well here.
How would you like to see the business community support the jazz scene?
Well, I think one thing that a lot of people don't realize, and I've seen a lot working at Dazzle, I also see it with my own band, which has had a great deal of success here in Denver and Colorado, but also nationally. We've gotten a lot of notice, and what it is that the jazz world is not it's not so huge that there's like a glass ceiling for anything that can happen in Denver. Like jazz in Denver could really become a huge thing within jazz nationally. It could easily build to become the next Jazz at Lincoln Center, which is like the New York model that's very successful. And it wouldn't be that hard. It wouldn't take that much for Denver to become one of the jazz cities. Right now you have New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. And I've heard jazz in all these cities, and we already have the music, we already have the quality of musicians, we already have the quality of creativity, and if we were able to build the support structure underneath it with businesses and building up the listening community and whatnot, it could easily become sort of a cultural institution, not just within Denver or Colorado, but within music in the national and international community.
What is your vision of the future of jazz in the region?
Well, it's the Ninth and Lincoln Orchestra playing every night. No, just kidding. I guess I would take it back to what I was saying earlier, that there's I see jazz as not being in any way a historical art form, but instead just the concept of applying a lot of thought and a lot of passion and also improvisation to any sort of musical influence. So in Denver, I think it'd be very cool and very possible, I think, to see the general influences of the West and a lot of the musics that go on here that really seem to have a place here to be combined with that sort of thing and create sort of a jazz language out of that. So maybe we see the jazz players bringing in the huge bluegrass influence that happens here, or all the sort of very Americana pastoral sorts of sounds that seem very indigenous to Denver and the mountains and the Rocky Mountains and all the musics associated with that. So I think it'd be great to see the various influences of this part of the planet combine with what it is that jazz is and build upon that.
Anything else you'd like to add? You have an open forum. Anything else you'd like to add to this segment?
I guess I would just add, which is the thing I like to try to stress a lot to jazz fans and whatnot, is that the jazz is not a historical art form. There's a lot of great history to it. It is America's great contribution to music and art in the world, but it didn't end at any point. It didn't stop being made in the 50s or the 60s. It is as strong and vibrant as it's ever been, and it doesn't have as big of a well, I'm not even going to say that, because the jazz community is actually, it's been surprising to me since, getting out of school and coming to Denver and being so involved in the scene. I thought it would be much harder to build audiences and whatnot, but there are people that love it, and people who haven't experienced it walk into a room with people playing and are just about always turned on. So it's been easier to build than I thought, but I just like people to realize that there is a really vibrant new modern jazz scene happening that is growing by the day. And like what we did last night, there's so many students that are building into it and becoming future performers and or future consumers of it. And there's so many people that I think will love what's happening now once they experience it.
Thank you. Tyler Gilmore.
All right.
Is the jazz writer for Denver. He represents the Denver voice of jazz. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
One of the things that the previous speakers have not addressed is, why would corporate America support a vibrant jazz community in this region?
Well, it's always an interesting question about what corporate America supports or doesn't support, especially when it's collapsing.